Today on Switch to Linux, we'll talk about taking control of software, and we'll look at a country over in the EU, which is kind of giving us a role model that we might want to think about. Thanks for checking out this video by Switch to Linux. If you like this type of content, subscribe to the channel. If you've not already done so, leave us a like and a comment down below. And we are going to be talking about using free and open source software for the various business needs. And I hear it all the time. You know, I do a video about mentioning LibreOffice. Then you get somebody like, LibreOffice just doesn't work. You can't use it in a professional setting. Says the guy who's never tried to use it in a professional setting to a guy who publishes books on it and uses advanced features of LibreOffice that you probably don't even know are there. Okay, you can use a lot of really good free and open source software in your daily workflow. And not only do you retain control of the data, it might save you some money. Of course, you should probably turn around and use some of that saved money as you can to support the companies providing these, but that is something that you provide because it has helped you so much, not something that you have to give them as a gatekeeper to actually be able to do anything at all. And we're going to be talking here about France. So France created its own open source alternative to Microsoft Teams and Zoom. So there's been this digital sovereignty discussion that the EU has been having of late. And in that digital sovereignty discussion, what that basically means is who has control over the digital lives. This is something that we as private individuals should also remember. We need to know who has access to our digital lives. Microsoft can lock us out of our computers for whatever reason, yet give our decryption keys to the FBI to decrypt our computers. Do we have digital sovereignty? Nope. Some other company owns that. We talk about them having digital sovereignty over the various sources, whether it's the various streaming services we buy. Bezos is even saying, hey, you'll be renting your computer from the cloud soon, so you won't even own a computer. This is all Agenda 2030. In fact, I was going to pull up that post from the World Economic Forum, but I'll kind of save that for a video later on as I stop and think about that. But the thing is that all of these companies are selling us now services, not products. And even things that have traditionally been products, they want to collect monthly recurring revenue from us because it really, really makes those investors happy. And that's what is happening here in a lot of countries. Most countries are beholden to either Microsoft or Google for managing a document infrastructure. They use either Teams, maybe Zoom, in order to do some form of web conferencing in a world that wants to talk about, you know, the fact we can work from anywhere. And indeed, I just rolled into this beautiful desert. I kept the doors open back there because the lighting is such I can get a good lighting in here. I'm in a desert. There's saguaro cactuses and mountains over here, and it's beautiful. I got the moonrise over on this side. Oh, this place is beautiful. And here I am getting my work done. Whether it's these videos or my regular web design work and my daily job, all of those things, I'm getting all this stuff done. And the fact for me is I'm utilizing open source software. Obviously, you're probably watching this on YouTube. By the way, we do have Rumble and Odyssey. But yes, we use some of those products because that is where some people are at. But when it comes to our supporters calls, we're not using Google or Zoom or any of those infrastructures. We are using our own self-hosted server that we control the servers, we control the software. We have digital sovereignty. When it comes to sharing files, whether I'm sharing my personal tax files with my accountant or whether I am collecting files for collaboration projects. Right now I'm working on a team of people that organize SOPs on a camp setup. All of these things I'm doing on servers I control utilizing an encrypted Nextcloud that I retain digital sovereignty over our work. And that is what the EU has been thinking about as of lately, is having digital sovereignty over their individual work. And so what they've been doing here is for the last year, they have been working on this thing called Visio. Maybe they should have picked a different name. They might get sued by Visio or something. But this has been a Zoom-based app, which is open-sourced MIT licensing. And I have not seen this one before. Maybe I'll look into it. But they say it provides a Zoom-level performance, high-quality video and audio experience. They are hosting this apparently on their own servers that they have control. And they said it's now handling over 40,000 users in different departments. They're also utilizing a Linux distribution they have not specifically specified, or maybe it was Germany. Somebody is switching to a Linux distro that they're not specifically specifying. France is utilizing only Office, which does have a good self-hosted cloud component. Germany is using LibreOffice, which also works with Calibora, an excellent service that will provide LibreOffice infrastructure to there. And the thing is that it's not difficult to do these things. It just takes a little bit of planning and for you to just go out and do it. Now, yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but the way I switched to Linux, for example, I kept my regular workflow going on this Windows 7 computer, locked it from updates and things like that. And then I took all the extra time and I spent that time, how do I accomplish this on Linux? And then I go and do it. And I set up a Linux laptop, which allowed me to get out there and test and experiment. And when it came time to getting out onto the road full time, I switched that Windows 7 laptop into a Raspberry Pi. At that time, when running Manjaro, I got the upgraded Pi, now is running MX Linux. And all of my stuff for the last 5 years has been done entirely and exclusively on Linux. I have so much electricity, like the sun's coming back and I'm getting more power. And I actually charge that Surface computer I have up there. Every now and again, I turn on a Windows computer to show you how to burn an ISO on Windows. That's what I pull that out for. And I remembered to charge it the other day because, I never touched that thing. So I actually had to turn it on. I saw the Windows thing and I backed away from it. He's like, and I touched it, tapped the screen a couple times, make sure it was going to bite. Charged it up, make sure it's good, and threw it back up there. And I probably won't touch it again for 6 more months. All right. But we have the ability, if we just take the time, we can learn how to do these processes. So what could you do on a private level, or maybe you own a small business or you work in a small business and you're worried about these types of things? I want to highlight first is Nextcloud all-in-one. And I have a video about how to set this up. And this is by far the easiest and the best way. See, I've been using Nextcloud for a long time. Over, I think, a decade, I've been using Nextcloud. I think I first set my first one up in 2018 or something. So 8 years, maybe. I forget how long I've been using it. I was using it so long, I was using AWS servers back then to get a Calibora server hosted when it was very hard to do. And then I connected all these guys and had functional Office docs, and it was a royal pain. It took a long time to figure out, and there were some issues and some problems with it. All right, Nextcloud all-in-one takes all of that out. Now, I run this on, I'm paying like $15 to $18 a month for my server, and that's about the lowest you can run it, but I can easily collaborate with 4 or 5 people on that server. If I wanted to have a team of 10 people on it, I'd pay like maybe $40 a month, which, by the way, on a Google or a Microsoft workspace is going to cost you $10-15 per user. And then you will have no digital sovereignty. Whereas this, you can figure out what the amount you need to pay for it based on what you're paying for is the robustness of the individual server. If you have a server at your office, you can self-host this in that server and it won't cost you anything extra. We're just talking about, in my instance, since I'm in the van and I don't have always on servers in the van and spotty internet at times, I put mine out in one of the cloud providers and I just rent space from the cloud provider. But this Nextcloud all-in-one, you set this up, it has talk features, so it can replace Teams. It has video conferencing built in. Now, we don't use that. We use something else I'll get to in a minute. But it has that built in. It has Calibora built in. I can do collaborative Office document management on that system. It'll replace everything you can do with Dropbox. It'll replace so many functions and features on this one setup, which as a family, you can also use. Guess where all of my contacts and all my calendars on my Graphene OS phone sync to? Guess what? It ain't Google. It's the servers on my Nextcloud instance. So I have one server which syncs my calendars and my contacts and all of my file sharing for multiple different businesses. I do collaboration with a team of people in another project. All of that stuff is encompassed in Nextcloud all-in-one. Super simple to set up. It literally takes especially on DigitalOcean, I think mine's on DigitalOcean. You go over there to DigitalOcean, you go into the marketplace, you click Nextcloud all-in-one, you push a button, and then you go out and you make some popcorn, and then you come back, and then you log into one space, you create your admin account, and you're done. This is not complicated. I mean, it's a Docker system and it updates itself like with a little bit of manual thing. You log in, you click the all-in-one interface, and it says, hey, you have an update. Would you like to upgrade? You push a yes button, and then you go and you make another round of popcorn, and it shuts everything down, and it updates everything, and it turns itself back on. It is super simple. And then I pay the extra money since this is production. I pay the extra money for their DigitalOcean's regular backup. So I always have the 3 solid backups. I have like a month old, a week old, and a day old backup of the system. And I pay $2 or $3 a month for that. So Nextcloud all-in-one is certainly a place to go. Where it comes to video conferencing, what we use on our servers, video conferencing, is actually a Jitsi. So Jitsi, of course, you can go to Jitsi and you can host conferences over there and things like that. But if you want to, you can actually self-host this. This is exactly what we did. And I have a full tutorial on my website at switchedtolinux.com, and have a look at the tutorials tab. And you can install a private Jitsi server yourself. And I have this again installed. I think this one's over on Linode or Akamai, whatever they're called right now. And I pay, I mean, this one's costly, guys. I pay $5 a month for this. And this can host, I think I upped it to $10 a month. We were having problems if we had more than 4 or 5 people on at a time, because I had like the bare minimum server you could get. I upgraded it to the next level up. I think I'm paying $10 a month or something for it. And we have not hit the upper limits now. It's probably about 10, 15 or so, and it would probably have a spasm on us. But Jitsi is super easy. I walk through all of what you need to do, what you do with cPanel, get your domains in there. We create the DigitalOcean droplet over there, and we get in there and we access everything. We set it all up, set in the usernames. Now I have mine locked down so that you would need to use a password, get in with a password to set up a meeting on it, which I do since mine's not necessarily a public server, but if somebody accidentally stumbles upon it, it's kind of locked out for that purpose there. But this is what you can do as a basic user. Whether you're a home user, there's no reason these days to be throwing out a lot of money on subscription software when these companies are simply looking to regularly monetize you. Yeah, it's one thing. I do not in any way, shape, or form endorse piracy. So if you're going to use a big software like that, you should buy it legitimately. But I'm not paying subscription services for something that should be a one-time purchase. And for my case, because of that, I simply won't use that software. I will go and use a free and open source option that I'm free to install. And if I find value with it, then I can donate back to the organization following their websites and their donation links. So that really is the best thing that we can do as we look at this, whether you're a large organization or, hey, even a country. Look at free and open source software that you can replace all of these big tech, heavy, expensive subscription services. And you can, in that way, you can cut back your costs. You can have digital sovereignty, and that digital sovereignty gives you control. That gives the power back to you. That is what you need to do in order to properly maintain your software. Let me know your thoughts about all that in the comments down below.